90 or something.
Yeah.
Right, because it was a lower budget and kind of
really
the subject
budget,
matter is not pleasant. You know what I mean? So,
All right. So are we going back to 82 or are we on to 87 again?
Well, I have just another set before I finally get to my last one. So I don't know where you guys are all at. But
I'm good. I
don't know
there's
where
enough there that you could like pull, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do. My next round, I just want to do some guilty pleasure stuff from 1987.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at on time and everything, but so for 1982 here, just a couple more that kind of spawn First Blood came out in 1982. We just saw the trailer for Last Blood.
Yep.
So something that's still around today, and this First Blood was,
the best of all those movies.
Yeah, it might be considered the best of all of them. Another one.
You can't fuck with Brian Dennehy.
Well,
I wouldn't.
He did.
Well, yeah, he did. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
he's an ultimate asshole.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Except for in Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Sticking with, I don't know if we want to loop this back around, but directorial debut. Did I already say the Piranha 2?
No, you did not.
Okay.
No.
The directorial debut of James Cameron takes place.
That guy's done a couple movies.
Yeah, it takes place in 1982. He directed the Piranha 2, The Spawning. Piranha was directed by Joe Dante, the first one. The second one, it's another low-budget Corman movie. Yeah.
Horrible movie.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And I don't think he was originally hired. He was originally hired as a special effects technician, and then he got the job.
They're like, please do this.
Yeah.
Can you do this?
2 years before Terminator. So
yeah.
James Cameron makes his directorial debut in 1982 with Piranha 2.
Hey, sometimes you take your shot whenever it's given to you.
Yes.
Well, he needed to,
Look
yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe there was a time when he's living in his car, while he's writing the Terminator. I'm not totally sure on that, but and then before I throw it off to your guilty pleasures in 87, I'm going to say there is one last one in 82 that's very important. But this one has a lot of influence on a lot of younger generations, I think. Pink Floyd's The Wall came out in 82. And that changed a lot of people's perspective and maybe gave Floyd a new look maybe at the time.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Because, this is 10 years after Dark Side of the Moon.
Absolutely.
So,
but as we've talked about before, Brock, I really, really love The Wall. Dark Side of the Moon's one of my top, probably, 15 albums.
But the visuals,
the
visual
really,
represent
where it was at. But what I was going to say about Pink Floyd is you got to remember that Pink Floyd had like 36 albums.
Yeah, I know.
So there's just a few that are really good.
I'm going to say one thing about Pink Floyd. I fucking hate Pink Floyd.
I know you do.
Yeah, I know you don't like Pink Floyd.
I love
I
certain Pink Floyd. I have
Dark Side I can listen to.
Like if you've listened to Animals, that is a weird album. Saucer Full of Secrets was really good. Again, Dark Side, The Wall. I didn't like anything after that because I was.
What about Syd Barrett stuff?
I didn't like any of that stuff.
You don't like any of the early stuff with Syd Barrett?
Like the early and the late, I just kind of like that vein, And I know there was 10 years in there. I mean, that's still a lot of stuff.
Well, it just shows the longevity of a band and how they can reinvent themselves and find new ways to do.
Well, people trip on acid every time they watch this movie sometimes. I mean,
well, I know. I just
every
know
time,
that
sometimes?
Yeah, every time, sometimes.
It was one of those things my older brother had, and it was like
contradiction.
It was like, this secret movie that you see, and it was, it had, strange subject matter.
I watched it Home Alone by myself at like 9.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about that actually, and it kind of scared me with the orange faces and all that, just some really dark stuff that goes on in that movie. But what I was going to say, if it had took them 36 albums to make those 3 or 4 things that I really like, I'm cool with that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I can see. I understand why people like them, but with this right here, this reaches the other audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this goes beyond about just the music. This is a different experience entirely.
Laser Floyd!
It's not even Laser Floyd. I mean,
this is a
movie, with animation and kind of makes you want to be a rock star. Maybe.
It makes me not want to be a rock star.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to get those
shit off my face.
1982. A big year for movies, at least in my opinion, probably the most important year for movies in the 80s. I'm going to throw it over to 1987 here for your guilty pleasures, but I got one more for you guys in the bank, and this is the most important movie that's going to come out.
Cool.
This year.
I'm gonna keep my my number one in the bank, and I know I had some heavy hitters in there already, but the one that's my top one's probably just for me. I don't know. We'll see. Guilty pleasures. This is actually a Brock guilty pleasure that I know. Garbage Pail Kids came out in 1987.
Just fun. It's just fun though.
Just terrible.
If you can ingest something to hallucinate while watching this, it might help.
True. Guilty pleasure for myself, however, is Over the Top came out in 1987. And,
Let's fucking arm wrestle right now.
Fucking arm wrestle, man.
Let's do it.
I'll get John Rambo up in this bitch.
God damn.
I've been pushing
Don't go
too
over
many
the top.
pencils.
And he's going to drive the semi that Jack Burton used to have.
The Pork Chop Express.
Yeah.
So I used to wake up and go to my friend's house every morning, like before we'd go out for the day. And I would either watch, he'd have two movies that were laying right there. And it was either Over the Top or Rocky IV. And I didn't care which one.
Yeah. Because it was
fucking
Robert Loggia was in that movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Terry Funk.
Douchebag.
God, man, I watched that movie probably 100 times.
Yeah,
too.
same here.
At
Same here.
least.
So just a guilty pleasure there, though, of course. And then my other guilty pleasure that I will mention is the Monster Squad.
Oh, yes. Dude, love that movie.
You know,
Shane Black again. Shane Black and Fred Decker.
There's a lot of cheese to it. It's definitely, slanted towards, I would say like that preteen kid.
Yep. Yep. When you're in junior high.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the Monster Squad.
Up in our treehouse.
Yes.
Just great stuff there. Lots of fun. Some of the special effects in that were actually pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
The
Wolf,
makeup. The Wolfman I thought was great.
I like the Gillman. I'm just
The Gillman,
a mark
I know
for
you're...
the. I'm just a
You like
mark
the
for the.
creature.
Yeah, I like the creatures.
Yeah.
They couldn't call him the creature for the
Right.
Black Lagoon,
Of course
so they called
not.
him Gill Man. Yeah, and then home dude Horace kills him. Wolfman's got nards. He's got one of the coolest fucking
Wolfman
lines.
doesn't have nards. Wait. The old creepy German dude.
Oh, dude, there's so many good
That
parts.
kid
in that
that
movie.
smokes cigarettes.
Yeah,
On his BMX bicycle and his sunglasses.
Yeah, he's in 7th grade. They're in 6th.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
he's
a big
drinking
deal.
and he's drinking a beer.
Yeah, well, it's a
Holy
big
shit.
deal when you're in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he had spiked hair and, jeez.
Yeah.
What a cool fella.
He was awesome. That movie was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably like just 3 guilty pleasure movies. I know one was for you.
Yeah.
Some just real quick notables because I think we'll probably hit our top ones in the next round. And you can have another turn before we do that. Mannequin came out.
Jesus
I
Christ.
love that movie. Meshach Taylor.
Empire of the Sun.
Oh, that was a great movie.
That was a
Empire of the
great
Sun
movie.
is cool. Isn't that one of Christian Bale's first films?
Yep.
Yep.
John
Hamburger
Malkovich.
Hill.
Yeah, Hamburger Hill was
good.
good one too.
The Last Emperor.
Yes, we have mentioned that a little
I
bit.
think we've talked about that a little bit. And then probably for the bigger hits, like Dirty Dancing came out.
Yeah.
Whatever. And La Bamba. We've talked about
La
that. But yeah, that's Inner Space. If you like Dennis
I
Quaid,
love
Martin
Inner
Short.
Space. Dude, I love Inner Space.
It was a
Yes.
great movie. Those are kind of just some notables that were out there.
Yep.
Directed by Joe Dante.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Tie back.
I like that's a unique movie that
It's a very unique movie.
that has a lot of cool special effects. It's you only really had Fantastic Voyage and then Inner Space. What other movies do you shrink and go in there?
Yeah, that was so cool. Martin Short was awesome in that movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid.
He like transforms into the one guy. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of it doesn't add. Some of the science doesn't quite add up, but there is a pretty cool fight in his stomach at the end.
Yeah.
So
With the dude with the.
There's yeah. So, and there's a lot of mediums where that happens. You get shrunk down and put. I mean, well, I think fairly recently, wasn't there something in DC where somebody went into Superman's bloodstream or something?
well, I mean, I think you're talking about the Forever Evil story. Well, before Forever Evil storyline, there was a Trinity War storyline where the crime syndicate came through.
Yes.
And she was the Atom, but on that planet they're evil, and she can shrink and she actually went into Superman's brain, made him kind of go crazy and uses laser vision on Dr. Light and blow his head up or something. Yeah. So they had to contain Superman and put him in prison. And Superman was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. You need to do something with me because I didn't do that voluntarily. Because she shrunk down and got into his head and made him like do that on accident.
So I mean that's kind of stuff's out there, but I think for me,
in the Ant-Man movies and stuff.
But I would say even like this was probably the first I had seen. Like I saw this before I saw Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sure, me too. Me too.
So yeah, just some notables. I got one in the bank, like 1982 over here, and that's been 1987, and over to 1986, Mr. Brock.
Okay, I've put out some really good movies so far. My notable ones are like Flight of the Navigator,
Nice.
Money Pit, Critters.
Dude, Critters rules.
Labyrinth came out in '86.
Labyrinth was a great fucking movie, and
But
anybody who says any different, I will fight.
Yeah,
right, David Bowie. But it's not a sequel to The Dark Crystal, but it is kind of in that vein.
Well, they do need to make a sequel to that movie eventually.
The Labyrinth?
And it's just basically David Bowie's crotch.
Yeah. The goblin crotch.
Yes, the goblin crotch.
You remind me of my crotch.
Because I remember watching that movie so many times and then just being like, God damn. All the people are at crotch height to him,
they are.
and it's like the other star of the movie. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man!
They had the cool MC Escher stairs in there.
Yeah.
Like that was a great movie.
Yeah, it was a cool movie. Ferris Bueller's Day Off came out in '86.
I can't believe you haven't mentioned that sooner.
See, Pretty in Pink, dude. There's so many movies in '86.
These are popular. John
Hughes.
Films.
Hughes, yeah.
Yes,
Class of Nukem High.
Yeah.
Invaders from Mars.
That was a trauma film, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. Not a particularly great movie.
No, it's mostly terrible.
Well, when you said trauma, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 did come out this year.
That's right. Sure did.
Dennis Hopper, man.
Bringing in the sheaves.
I'm not going to say this is my favorite one because I'm going to put that off. But Trick or Treat, one of my all-time favorite movies, just cult movies, weird movies. Love this movie. I don't think it was my favorite one out of this whole year.
Is Gene Simmons in that, or
Gene Simmons, Ozzy Osbourne,
right?
Just a fucking cool movie. And then you have Aliens came out in this year.
Gotta be a big
deal.
Gotta be my second, maybe favorite movie of all time.
That is, I remember
top 20 for me.
I grew up on that shit. That is my bread and butter.
What's
right
funny
there.
is I was a G.I. Joe kid. And I had all the G.I. Joes, and I remember my parents rented it. We went over to somebody's house, and the kid's house that we went over to, they wouldn't let us watch Aliens. My parents didn't give a fuck what I watched, but since we were somewhere else, they were like, "Oh well,
we're good parents."
Yeah. You go into the room and hang out. And I remember I got a shitload of G.I. Joes that time because I made all A's or something. And he had Garbage Pail Kids cards.
Oh my god!
And we watched it on video, or we didn't watch it. We listened to it. Played G.I. Joes, and he had every fucking Garbage Pail Kid.
While you're watching Aliens?
Well, they were watching Aliens.
Listening to it.
We were listening to it.
Well, that ties back to Cameron too. Obviously, he was hired by Fox to write that script and changed it up to make it. We're gonna go to war.
Movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna go to war, and that ties in with the '80s and the Vietnam thing. The designs are very Vietnam-esque.
Yes,
for the Marines, the Colonial Marines outfits.
My favorite one is going to be an odd one, but Howard the Duck came out this year too.
This is your favorite one? This is your top one? Okay.
No.
I used to watch this movie all the fucking time.
I love Howard the Duck.
It's just a little weird when they kiss.
Who's the bad guy?
Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
He always plays that douche.
Yeah.
Canoe kind of guy.
Dark overlords of the universe.
I think I hit puberty during this movie because of Leah Thompson.
Oh, there you go.
Underwear.
I think this was the year that I was like, what does this do?
One of Marvel's early adaptations. George Lucas is involved. It was not a hit.
No.
It's a cool cult classic movie if you give it a chance.
There's so many people that absolutely abhor this movie. I don't. I see the merit. I see it's a great movie. It's not my favorite one out of it, like I said, but
the weird scene is when they're getting close in the pull-out bed. That's a little weird.
That is a little weird.
It was. It should not have been done.
He's watching Play Duck or reading Play Duck.
Well, that was
the opening scene is awesome, dude. Where it's got all the duck version of our planet, essentially.
But coming back around, that's going to be on Hulu, right? Isn't that going to be one of the cartoons?
I think so. Yeah, that's a Kevin Smith one. That they're going to do. Is
he writing it?
Yeah, I think so.
He's working on it. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. I know he's working on one of them. I didn't know which one.
No, I love this movie, and I'll still watch it anytime I get a chance to.